Picture an ancient world, a world where people share a single language, a single purpose. Driven by ambition, they come together to build something beyond belief, a tower that could reach the heavens themselves. The Tower of Babel, one of the most intriguing and mysterious stories in the Bible. It's a tale of human ambition and divine limits, a moment when humanity's reach met God's response. The people in this ancient world dreamed of reaching higher, aiming to bridge the gap between earth and the divine. So, they set out to build a tower, one that would pierce the sky. But in their unity and ambition, they had overlooked one thing: the possibility that their aspirations might defy God's will. And when the tower reached its heights, that's when it happened. In a sudden moment, the people's voices became confused. Language divided them, and just like that, they could no longer understand one another. What really happened at Babel? Was it simply a tale of pride and punishment? Or could there be more to this ancient story? Hints of a real tower, a lost language, and a lesson hidden in its ruins. Today, we'll explore the mystery of the Tower of Babel, from its origins to its enduring questions. In the Bible, the story of Babel begins in a time when the people of the world are united. They speak the same language, share the same vision, and driven by a singular ambition, they settle on a plain in the land of Shinar. The people decide to build a city, a place to unite them all, and in the heart of this city, they plan something grand, a tower that would reach the heavens. In Genesis 11 we read, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Brick by brick they build, their efforts echoing through the plains of Shinar as they push higher and higher. With each layer they feel invincible, closer to heaven. But what they didn't realize is that their ambition, their desire to be like God, was seen as defiance. In response, God descends to observe their progress. And then, the unimaginable happens. Instead of a flood or a fire, God uses a different kind of intervention. He confounds their speech. Suddenly, each builder is speaking a different language, and no one can understand the other. The tower's construction grinds to a halt. Confusion spreads, unity dissolves, and the people scatter across the earth, their once shared language lost forever. The Tower of Babel crumbles, left incomplete, a stark reminder of the limits of human ambition. The Tower of Babel has fascinated historians and archaeologists for centuries. Was it merely a metaphor, or did it have roots in a real place, a real structure? Many scholars believe that the story of Babel may have been inspired by the great ziggurats of ancient Mesopotamia, massive temple towers that rose from the earth like man-made mountains. These ziggurats were religious structures, places meant to connect the earthly with the divine. One of the most famous candidates for the Tower of Babel is the Etemenanki, a grand ziggurat dedicated to the god Marduk in the ancient city of Babylon. Etemenanki, whose name means the foundation of heaven and earth, was said to reach an impressive height and may have stood as a monumental testament to human achievement. But over time, Etemenanki fell into ruin. It was later partially reconstructed by kings who marveled at its remains, but the original structure was never fully rebuilt. Could Etemenanki have inspired the story of Babel, passed down through generations as a tale of a tower that reached too high? Or perhaps the Tower of Babel was a mythological archetype, a symbol of human ambition that transcends a single structure. To this day, no one knows for certain where the story of Babel took place, but traces of it live on in ancient ruins scattered throughout Mesopotamia, whispering of a time when humanity dreamed of the heavens. But perhaps the greatest mystery of Babel isn't its structure, it's the language. Why would language be the chosen punishment? And what does it tell us about the human condition? In the biblical account, God's intervention takes a unique form, a scattering of languages. With this single act, he introduces division, a powerful reminder that unity, especially when used for self-glorification, can be fragile. Many scholars suggest that this confusion of tongues serves as a symbol of the boundaries between humanity and the divine. Language connects us, but it can also divide us. The Babel story raises questions about our desire to transcend limits and to understand things beyond our reach. And yet, some historians speculate, that this story also reflects a cultural memory of a time when diverse tribes and nations with different languages began encountering each other. What if the Tower of Babel isn't just a story of division, but a parable about the birth of diversity, the spread of cultures, and the complex tapestry of human civilization? In the end, the mystery of Babel leaves us with more questions than answers. What did the scattering of languages truly represent? Was it a curse, a limitation, or perhaps a necessary step in the journey of humankind? So, what does the story of the Tower of Babel mean for us today? Is it simply an ancient tale of human ambition, or does it carry a deeper message? The Tower of Babel stands as a symbol of humanity's reach for the heavens, of our desire to understand, to build, and to transcend our limitations. It's a story about unity, about the power of ambition, but also about the consequences of overstepping. And in its echoes, we're reminded of the limits placed on us, the boundaries that separate the earthly from the divine. But there's something else here, something that continues to intrigue us across centuries: the scattering of languages, the birth of diversity. Perhaps the lesson of Babel isn't only about limitation, but about the beauty of difference, the value of our individual voices, and the complexity of our shared story. The Tower of Babel remains one of the Bible's most enduring mysteries, a tale that leaves us wondering: was it a real place, a symbolic warning, or both? And as we look around at our world today, the divisions, the unities, the dreams of progress, are we still building our own Towers of Babel? We may never have all the answers, but that's what makes these stories so powerful. They invite us to question, to seek, and to explore the mystery of the human condition.